21 black celebrities who are LGBTQ but still have children. We celebrate them on glamorous red carpets, streaming charts, and athletic fields. But what happens when these icons defy society's rigid family blueprints to live their absolute truth? Beyond the dazzling Hollywood illusions, these 21 legendary black stars broke every traditional rule to build their own families as proud LGBTQ+ parents, facing down severe social prejudice and systemic isolation to protect their children. From Debrat's miraculous viral pregnancy at 49 to Marsha P. Johnson's revolutionary street sanctuary, their journeys prove that family love is forged through unyielding protection, not traditional expectations. Subscribe to Black Celebrity Secrets right now and smash that notification bell. Drop a comment below. Which star's fierce parental sacrifice inspired you the most? Wanda Sykes. The unforgiving glare of mainstream entertainment often imposes a rigid traditional standard on minority creators, forcing queer innovators to actively construct entirely unique frameworks for domestic happiness. Wanda Sykes stands as an absolute foundational icon of American comedy, single-handedly redefining network television writing and stand-up performance with a razor-sharp, socially conscious wit that earned her an Emmy Award and permanent placement among the industry's elite. Her fiercely authentic, charismatic presence has commanded the absolute adoration of millions of fans globally for decades. Yet behind the roaring arena laughter and prestigious red carpet ceremonies lay a complex, high-stakes personal transition as she boldly came out as a lesbian in 2008, a radical act of self-preservation that culminated in her historic marriage to her French partner, Alex Niedbalski. The true cornerstone of Sykes's private evolution materialized in 2009, when her family landscape expanded to include fraternal twins, Olivia and Lucas. Navigating modern motherhood as a same-sex biracial couple required immense structural resilience, as they raised their young children amidst lingering societal prejudices and intrusive media curiosity. Operating within a bilingual, multicultural household, Sykes meticulously balanced the brutal, exhausting time commitments of nationwide comedy tours with a deeply grounding maternal presence. Rather than succumbing to the alienating pressures of an industry that frequently fractures alternative households, she deliberately leveraged her public platform to normalize the beautifully mundane realities of queer parenting. The twins have flourished into adolescence, protected by a fiercely private, loving fortress engineered by two mothers who prioritized authentic emotional development over Hollywood validation. Sykes's journey stands as a brilliant viral testament to the fact that unconditional family love remains the ultimate, untouchable sanctuary against an judgmental external world. Debrat. Breaking through the hyper-masculine, deeply conservative boundaries of 1990s hip-hop culture requires an indomitable artistic spirit. But charting a path toward queer motherhood in maturity represents an entirely new level of revolutionary triumph. Debrat, born Shantae Harris, exploded onto the global music scene as a multi-platinum pioneer, cementing her legacy as the first solo female rapper to achieve a platinum-certified album with her historic 1994 masterpiece, Functified. Her rapid-fire, aggressive vocal delivery and infectious energy commanded the absolute devotion of a global generation of hip-hop purists. For decades, however, the rigid, heteronormative expectations of the corporate music machinery forced Harris to keep her private romantic identity heavily shielded from the public eye, isolating her true self from the culture she helped build. The narrative experienced a profound, beautiful shift in her late 40s when she publicly embraced her relationship with hair care empire mogul Jessica Judy Dupart, leading to a spectacular high-fashion wedding in 2022. Defying stark medical statistics and intense age-related skepticism, the couple embarked on a high-stakes, deeply personal journey to expand their family lineage. At the age of 49, Harris achieved what many critics deemed biologically improbable. She successfully carried and gave birth to their firstborn son, true legend Harris Dupart, in July 2023. This miraculous chapter was documented with absolute transparency, instantly going viral as a powerful beacon of hope for mature women and queer couples worldwide. Harris transitioned effortlessly from a street-hardened rap trailblazer into a fiercely nurturing, resilient mother, proving that it is never too late to reclaim your personal narrative. Her domestic reality is now anchored by the soft laughter of an infant son, a triumphant victory over decades of forced silence. Lee Daniels. Navigating the competitive, high-stakes corridors of Hollywood as an openly gay black man requires an exceptional degree of creative armor. But building a protective family structure from the ruins of familial trauma is the ultimate measure of human compassion. Lee Daniels stands as an absolute multi-hyphenate juggernaut of modern cinema, directing and producing culture-shifting masterworks like the Oscar-winning Precious and engineering Empire, one of the highest-rated network television dramas in broadcast history. His raw, uncompromising visual storytelling has commanded the profound respect of the global entertainment elite. Yet, long before he achieved immense wealth and institutional acclaim, Daniels made a radical, life-altering commitment to rescue the most vulnerable members of his own bloodline from a systemic cycle of structural neglect. In the early dawn of his entertainment career, when financial security was entirely uncertain, Daniels and his former partner, casting director Billy Hopkins, took immediate legal custody of his biological niece and nephew, Clara and Liam. The infant twins were extracted from a volatile domestic crisis directly following the incarceration of Daniels' brother. Adopting the children when they were a mere 3 days old, Daniels instantly assumed the exhausting, sleepless responsibilities of single-generation queer fatherhood, while simultaneously fighting to establish his creative voice in Hollywood. He shielded the twins from both the predatory gossip of the media and the harsh realities of their early family displacement. Clara and Liam have since grown into accomplished young adults, served as high-fashion runway models, and remained fiercely bonded to their father. Daniels' profound paternal sacrifice beautifully demonstrates that the true definition of family is never dictated by traditional social blueprints, but actively forged through unyielding generational protection. Kehlani. The unforgiving nature of the modern music industry demands absolute, uncompromised vulnerability from its songwriters. Yet transforming that public emotional exposure into a grounded, protective environment for the next generation remains a monumental challenge. Kehlani, born Kehlani Ashley Parrish, emerged as an undisputed, multi-platinum force in contemporary R&B, capturing the hearts of millions with critically acclaimed masterpieces like Sweet Sexy Savage and It Was Good Until It Wasn't. Identifying globally as pansexual and queer, their fluid, boundary-pushing artistry has commanded the absolute adoration of a digital generation. However, beneath the hyper-visible lifestyle, global stadium tours, and heavily publicized romances lay a profound, transformative personal evolution when they chose to embark on the high-stakes journey of alternative motherhood. In March 2019, Parrish gave birth to their firstborn daughter, Adea Nomi, through an intimate, unmedicated home birth in a bathroom, an empowering experience that instantly went viral across social media platforms. The child was co-parented alongside close friend and guitarist Javier Young White, establishing a progressive, beautifully modern framework for co-parenting that defied conventional, heteronormative family blueprints. Protecting Adea from the predatory nature of internet celebrity culture required immense structural discipline, as Parrish meticulously structured their hectic global touring schedules around maternal responsibilities. Rather than allowing their daughter to be consumed by the chaotic glare of Hollywood, they raised her within a fiercely nurturing, artistically expressive oasis filled with unconditional love. Adea has blossomed under a maternal shield that prioritizes authentic emotional development over industry validation. Parish's domestic reality stands as a powerful testament to the modern queer parent, proving that a family's strength is defined solely by the depth of its protective sanctuary. Karamo Brown. Stepping into the international spotlight as a leading voice for marginalized groups requires exceptional psychological resilience. But confronting a sudden, life-altering paternal reality can completely dismantle and rebuild an individual's entire identity. Karamo Brown stands as an absolute, culture-shifting icon of modern reality television, single-handedly redefining emotional therapy and public advocacy as the culture expert on Netflix's Emmy-winning phenomenon, Queer Eye. His effortlessly charismatic, empathetic presence has commanded the profound respect of millions of viewers worldwide. Yet long before he achieved global wealth and mainstream visibility, Brown's private world experienced a catastrophic, beautiful disruption when he unexpectedly discovered he was the biological father of a 10-year-old boy. The reality manifested in 2007 when Brown learned that a high school girlfriend from his youth had given birth to his son Jason without his knowledge, subsequently moving away before the dawn of digital social networks. Overcoming the initial shock of this delayed revelation, the openly gay artist made an immediate, uncompromised commitment to assume full legal custody, entirely uprooting his career to provide a stable domestic anchor. Demonstrating an even greater depth of human compassion, Brown legally adopted Jason's half-brother Chris, refusing to allow the two young siblings to be fractured by the foster care system. Navigating the exhausting financial demands of sudden fatherhood as a single queer black man in a conservative society required immense structural discipline and sacrifices. Today, both Jason and Chris have transitioned into successful adulthood, standing as a fierce testament to their father's unyielding guidance. Brown's profound journey beautifully proves that real family lines are never exclusively dictated by traditional blueprints, but actively forged through generational protection. Samira Wiley. The rapid, hyper-visible ascent of prestige television stardom can often isolate an artist from the simple, foundational human experiences they desire to cultivate behind closed doors. Samira Wiley catapulted into global cultural prominence with her breakout SAG award-winning performance as Poussey Washington in Netflix's historic juggernaut Orange is the New Black, followed by an Emmy-winning turn in The Handmaid's Tale. Her fiercely expressive, authentic on-screen presence commanded the fanatical adoration of millions of viewers worldwide, establishing her as an elite talent within Hollywood's creative upper echelon. Yet, beneath the red carpet glamour and continuous critical acclaim lay a quiet, highly disciplined domestic narrative built alongside her partner, award-winning television writer Lauren Morelli. The couple's romantic alignment, which culminated in a spectacular wedding ceremony in 2017, reached its ultimate milestone in April 2021 when they quietly welcomed their first child, a daughter named George Elizabeth. Achieving motherhood through the complex, high-stakes process of in vitro fertilization required immense emotional endurance, a private struggle that the couple shared transparently to inspire other queer families navigating alternative reproductive paths. Wiley transitioned seamlessly from an acclaimed dramatic powerhouse into a deeply nurturing, protective mother, purposefully shielding infant George from the intrusive, predatory nature of modern media scrutiny. Balancing the grueling, unpredictable production schedules of premium streaming networks with the continuous, exhausting demands of raising a toddler, she and Morelli constructed a private oasis anchored in progressive values and artistic freedom. Their beautiful family structure stands as a radiant, viral beacon for the global LGBTQ+ community, demonstrating that queer parenting is not defined by external societal validation, but rooted entirely in the daily, unconditional sanctuary of a loving home. Monifa. The golden era of 1990s contemporary R&B demanded that female vocalists conform to a highly curated, hyper-heteronormative standard of glamour, forcing queer pathfinders to navigate their personal evolutions under extreme industry surveillance. Monifa, born Monifa Carter, emerged as a definitive multi-platinum voice of urban soul, dominating international music charts with infectious, timeless anthems like Touch It and I Miss You. Her rich, velvety vocal textures and powerful performance style commanded the absolute adoration of millions of fans globally. Yet, behind the glamorous album covers, heavy radio rotation, and prestigious industry accolades lay a complex internal struggle as she fought to maintain her creative autonomy while protecting her identity as a lesbian in a deeply conservative entertainment ecosystem. Long before she found the systemic courage to publicly share her authentic self, Carter was already anchored by the profound responsibilities of motherhood, raising her beloved daughter, Akemi. Balancing the grueling, chaotic schedules of international promotional tours and late-night studio production with the delicate emotional needs of a developing child required exceptional maternal resilience. The narrative experienced a beautiful historic shift when Carter joined the reality television franchise R&B Divas Atlanta, using the platform to transparently document her loving partnership with Therese Michelle. In 2014, the couple made history by celebrating their wedding on television, establishing a radiant, viral milestone for queer Black representation. Today, Akemi stands as a proud, successful testament to her mother's unyielding guidance, having been raised within a fiercely protective maternal sanctuary that prioritized authentic human dignity over superficial Hollywood validation. Isaiah Rashad. The raw, cerebral landscape of modern underground hip-hop frequently serves as a highly intense space where an artist's internal psychological conflicts and personal vulnerabilities are laid completely bare before a global audience. Isaiah Rashad, born Isaiah Rashad McLean, emerged as a critically acclaimed powerhouse within the prestigious Top Dog Entertainment roster, capturing the collective anxieties of a generation with his deeply introspective multi-genre masterpieces like The Sun's Tirade and The House is Burning. His soulful, hazy vocal delivery and brilliant lyrical prose commanded the fanatical devotion of hip-hop purists worldwide. Yet, beneath the heavy streaming statistics and artistic acclaim lay a complex private reality where he quietly balanced the continuous, exhausting demands of fatherhood with his own fluid journey of self-discovery. McLean's paternal narrative is beautifully defined by his deep commitment to his 3 children, whom he welcomed during his early adult years. Navigating the chaotic, unpredictable pressures of international touring schedules while providing a stable, emotionally secure foundation for his young kids required immense structural discipline and personal sacrifices. The dynamics of his public life experienced a dramatic, high-stakes shift in 2022 when an unconsented leak of an intimate video forced him to publicly address his sexually fluid identity. Rather than retreating into shame, McLean stood before packed festival crowds with absolute historic resilience, receiving overwhelming adoration from fans. He intentionally shielded his children from the toxic, invasive glare of internet media scrutiny, ensuring that their domestic environment remained an untouchable sanctuary of unconditional love. His journey stands as a powerful, viral example of modern queer fatherhood, proving that an artist can conquer personal trauma while remaining a fiercely protective parental anchor. Niecy Nash. Navigating the competitive high-stakes arenas of mainstream Hollywood comedy and prestige television drama requires an exceptional degree of psychological armor. But rewriting your personal romantic narrative in midlife while protecting your children is a masterclass in human authenticity. Niecy Nash, born Carol Denise Ensley, stands as an absolute multi-Emmy-winning juggernaut of American entertainment, single-handedly dominating screens with her brilliant performances in Reno 911, Claws, and her critically acclaimed turn in Dahmer. Her infectious, larger-than-life comedic timing and profound dramatic depth have commanded the absolute respect of the global entertainment elite. Yet, following 2 traditional marriages and raising 3 children, Dominic, Danielle, and Dia, Ensley's personal world experienced a spectacular, viral evolution that shattered conventional societal expectations. In August 2020, Ensley stunned the global media landscape by announcing her beautiful marriage to singer-songwriter Jessica Betts, a historic union that she joyfully described not as a rigid coming out, but as a profound going into herself. Navigating this high-stakes shift under the intense glare of public scrutiny required immense structural discipline, particularly in guiding her now adult children through the family's new dynamic. Rather than allowing predatory tabloid journalism to fracture her domestic peace, Ensley maintained an open, fiercely loving dialogue that prioritized her children's emotional security above all else. Her children completely embraced the union, creating a vibrant, modern, blended family anchored in progressive values and unconditional support. Ensley's domestic reality serves as a radiant, powerful monument for women worldwide, beautifully demonstrating that a mother can completely honor her personal truth while remaining the ultimate unbreakable shield for her family's collective happiness. Brittney Griner. The global sports landscape rarely offers a protective environment for alternative families, frequently subjecting elite queer athletes to intense international surveillance and political volatility. Brittney Griner stands as an absolute dominant titan of women's basketball, single-handedly rewriting athletic history as an Olympic gold medalist, NCAA champion, and WNBA superstar whose unparalleled physical defense revolutionized the game. Her commanding court presence earned the fanatical adoration of millions of sports enthusiasts worldwide. Yet, behind her historic athletic accolades lay a highly complex, deeply scrutinized journey toward domestic stability, beginning with a brief, volatile marriage to player Glory Johnson, which resulted in the birth of fraternal twins, Ava and Soleil, via in vitro fertilization. Following a highly publicized, complex divorce before the twins were born, Griner found herself navigating a painful emotional displacement from her daughters while enduring immense media scrutiny. The narrative experienced a profound, life-altering evolution when she found absolute romantic alignment with her wife, Sherelle Watson. Together, the couple faced the ultimate test of human endurance during Griner's agonizing 10-month wrongful detention in a Russian penal colony in 2022, a global political crisis that pushed their psychological reserves to the absolute brink. Following her historic release, the couple solidified their unyielding bond by welcoming their firstborn son, Bash, in July 2024. Griner transitioned effortlessly into a deeply nurturing, fiercely protective father figure, shielding infant Bash from the lingering trauma of her past and the invasive glare of predatory media. Her family structure stands as an untouchable fortress of resilience, proving that real maternal love can conquer the most terrifying global storms. Shaun T. The high-stakes world of elite commercial fitness demands absolute physical perfection and structural discipline. Yet channeling that intense focus into a painstaking, decade-long battle for alternative fatherhood requires monumental emotional endurance. Shaun T., born Shaun Thompson, emerged as an international multi-million-dollar health icon, single-handedly revolutionizing global home fitness with his culture-shifting insanity training systems, which commanded the devotion of millions of clients worldwide. His explosive, hyper-motivational energy transformed countless lives across the planet. Yet, behind the glittering infomercials, global athletic branding, and corporate success lay a private, exhausting struggle alongside his husband, Scott Blocker, to bring children into a world fraught with biological and legal barriers for same-sex couples. The couple's harrowing, transparently documented journey to parenthood became a viral beacon of hope, involving a brutal gauntlet of 12 unsuccessful in vitro fertilization attempts, 6 unique egg donors, 5 distinct surrogates, and a devastating miscarriage. Refusing to allow these catastrophic heartbreaks to fracture their dream of a family, Thompson and Blocker finally celebrated a miraculous breakthrough in November 2017 with the premature birth of their twin sons, Silas Reese and Sander Vaughn. Thompson seamlessly transitioned his elite motivational drive into fiercely protective, deeply intentional fatherhood. Balancing their demanding international business empires with the daily, exhausting realities of raising twins, the couple constructed a private oasis anchored in progressive, unconditional support. Today, their vibrant sons stand as a living, breathing testament to a father's unyielding perseverance, demonstrating that a queer family's foundation can be forged through absolute love. Michelle Indegiocello. The avant-garde parameters of modern neo-soul and progressive jazz require an artist to maintain an uncompromisingly authentic, fluid identity, completely detached from traditional societal blueprints. Michelle Indegiocello, born Michelle Lynn Johnson, stands as a seminal multi-Grammy-winning pioneer of alternative black music, fundamentally reshaping the sonic architecture of the 1990s with her revolutionary bass instrumentation and spoken-word masterworks like Plantation Lullabies. Identifying openly as bisexual and queer at the absolute dawn of her career, Johnson fiercely resisted the rigid, heteronormative packaging of major record labels, commanding the deep respect of the global artistic elite. Yet away from the recording studio, her personal world was beautifully defined by a highly unconventional, deeply protective approach to motherhood across distinct eras of her life. Johnson initially navigated the complex, grueling demands of independent music production as a young mother to her firstborn son, Solomon, whom she raised alongside her former partner, prominent feminist author Rebecca Walker. This progressive domestic structure prioritized raw intellectual freedom and emotional transparency, shielding the child from the toxic, conformist expectations of mainstream society. Decades later, her maternal narrative experienced a beautiful expansion when she welcomed her second son, Jacob, within her enduring marriage to production executive Allison Riley. Balancing the continuous demands of international jazz festivals with a deeply grounding parental presence, Johnson engineered a fiercely protective artistic sanctuary for both her children. Her modern, blended family line stands as a radiant monument to queer parenting, demonstrating that a mother can completely tear down traditional domestic boundaries while providing an unbreakable anchor of unconditional love for her legacy. Don Lemon. The high-stakes arena of live cable news television demands absolute, uncompromised intellectual armor, frequently subjecting media trailblazers to relentless national scrutiny and institutional volatility. Don Lemon stands as an undisputed, Emmy-winning powerhouse of American journalism, single-handedly anchoring primetime broadcasts for over a decade with a fiercely articulate, socially conscious commentary that captivated millions of viewers across the country. Yet behind the sharp custom suits and the intense, fast-paced media spotlight lay a deeply intentional, quiet pursuit of domestic happiness alongside his partner, real estate executive Tim Malone. The couple made a historic public declaration of their authentic self-preservation by celebrating a spectacular high-fashion New York City wedding in April 2024. The ultimate cornerstone of their private evolution has been a meticulous, high-stakes journey toward alternative fatherhood. Long before their formal union, Lemon and Malone actively structured their personal lives around the complex, emotionally demanding processes of family planning. Rather than allowing their private sanctuary to be fractured by the invasive, predatory nature of tabloid journalism or political vitriol, they constructed a fiercely private, loving fortress anchored in progressive values. Lemon seamlessly transitioned from an authoritative, hard-hitting news anchor into a deeply nurturing, protective parental figure, actively utilizing his mature platform to normalize the beautiful, mundane realities of older queer parenting. Today, their domestic landscape stands as a radiant, viral testament to modern family building, proving that a household's true foundation is never dictated by traditional social blueprints, but actively forged through unyielding, generational protection. Jeffrey Boyer Chapman. Maintaining absolute, uncompromised creative authenticity in the highly visible, competitive spaces of mainstream Hollywood television requires an exceptional degree of psychological resilience. Jeffrey Boyer Chapman emerged as a critically acclaimed, multi-talented force in modern entertainment, capturing global audiences with his brilliant, multi-layered performances on Lifetime's hit series Unreal, and as a prominent guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. Officially identifying as queer at the absolute dawn of his professional career, his fluid, boundary-pushing artistry has commanded the profound respect of the entertainment elite worldwide. However, beneath his glamorous red carpet appearances and high-fashion modeling campaigns lay a deeply guarded, highly disciplined private reality focused entirely on protecting his alternative family lineage. The most transformative, profound chapter of Boyer Chapman's private existence materialized when he chose to embark on the demanding journey of alternative fatherhood, welcoming an adopted son into his life. Understanding the predatory, intrusive nature of modern internet celebrity culture, the actor implemented immense structural discipline to shield his young child's identity and personal history from the public eye entirely. Rather than capitalizing on his paternal narrative for social media traction or digital validation, he intentionally raised his son within a fiercely nurturing, artistically expressive oasis in Vancouver. Balancing the grueling, unpredictable filming schedules of major television networks with the continuous, exhausting demands of raising a developing child, Boyer Chapman engineered an untouchable sanctuary of unconditional support. His quiet journey stands as a powerful, viral model for modern queer fathers, demonstrating that real parental love requires no ostentatious display, but thrives completely in daily protection. RuPaul. Sustaining a legendary multi-decade reign at the absolute apex of global pop culture requires a staggering level of business acumen. Yet constructing an expansive international family dynamic that completely redefines the traditional meaning of lineage is a masterclass in cultural leadership. RuPaul, born RuPaul Andre Charles, stands as an undisputed multi-Emmy-winning juggernaut of modern television, single-handedly transforming the underground art of drag into a multi-million-dollar global media empire through RuPaul's Drag Race. His electric, barrier-breaking presence has commanded the fanatical adoration of millions across every continent on Earth. Yet, away from the glittering custom gowns, heavy studio cosmetics, and historic Hollywood Walk of Fame honors, Charles's private world remains deeply anchored by his enduring 30-year relationship with his husband, George LeBar, on their massive, secluded Wyoming ranch. While Charles does not possess traditional biological heirs, His paternal legacy is beautifully, historically expressed through his deliberate role as the ultimate, foundational patriarch to an entire global generation of queer creators. Within the structured universe of his drag dynasty, he has actively cued, financed, and emotionally protected hundreds of drag daughters and alternative youth who were brutally fractured from their biological homes. Rather than conforming to the rigid, heteronormative standards of conventional family blueprints, Charles engineered an untouchable creative sanctuary where his spiritual children could achieve absolute artistic and financial autonomy. This revolutionary approach to community parenting has gone profoundly viral, permanently altering the sociological landscape of modern entertainment. His life stands as an indomitable monument to alternative family structures, proving that a father's protective impact is measured by the countless lives he shields from a cold, judgmental world. Raven-Symoné. The toxic, predatory nature of child stardom under the intense glare of Hollywood Disney packaging often leaves young creators psychologically fractured, rendering their adult transitions exceptionally volatile. Raven-Symoné, born Raven-Symoné Christina Pierman, stands as an absolute foundational deity of modern youth culture, single-handedly driving Disney Channel into a multi-billion-dollar global empire with her historic sitcom, That's So Raven. Her brilliantly fluid physical comedy and infectious charisma commanded the absolute frantic adoration of hundreds of millions of children worldwide. Yet, behind the astronomical merchandise sales and relentless television syndication lay a private existence completely isolated by the rigid, hyper-heteronormative expectations of a conservative corporate machine that forced her to keep her queer identity heavily guarded for decades. The narrative experienced a profound, beautiful shift in 2020 when Pierman publicly celebrated her spectacular wedding to social media manager Miranda Madej, a historic union that instantly went viral as a powerful beacon of self-preservation. Embracing their modern, fluid family structure with absolute transparency, the couple has been intensely vocal about their high-stakes plans to expand their lineage through alternative reproductive paths. Rather than allowing the intrusive gaze of paparazzi to dictate their personal milestones, they have utilized their digital content platforms to normalize the beautiful, mundane realities of queer parenting. Pierman transitioned seamlessly from a seasoned industry veteran into a deeply intentional, protective family anchor, constructing an untouchable sanctuary of unconditional support. Her domestic reality stands as an inspirational monument for women worldwide, demonstrating that a child star can completely conquer institutional trauma while engineering an authentic, loving fortress for the next generation. Lil Nas X. The rigid, deeply conservative boundaries of mainstream hip-hop and country music rarely offer a safe space for unapologetic queer expression, frequently subjecting innovators to massive waves of internet vitriol. Lil Nas X, born Montero Lamar Hill, exploded onto the global cultural landscape as an undisputed multi-platinum juggernaut, single-handedly rewriting Billboard history when his historic masterpiece, Old Town Road, spent a record-breaking 19 weeks at #1. His electric, boundary-pushing visual showmanship and digital brilliance commanded the fanatical adoration of a global generation. Yet beneath the glittering custom wardrobe and historic Grammy wins lay a deeply calculated, brilliant artistic mind that understood how to weaponize the media's obsession with traditional family values to deliver a revolutionary cultural statement. In September 2021, Hill executed a spectacular high-stakes media campaign that permanently altered the landscape of modern album promotion, staging an elaborate viral pregnancy photo shoot to celebrate the birth of his debut album, Montero. Complete with a realistic prosthetic belly, a lavish baby shower, and a dramatic hospital delivery video, the artist beautifully redefined the concept of creative lineage, explicitly crowning his musical masterworks as his own deeply nurtured, non-biological children. Beyond this brilliant performance art, Hill has utilized his immense wealth and global platform to act as a fiercely protective alternative parental figure for his younger biological siblings, navigating their family dynamics with deep emotional intelligence following their mother's struggles. He insulated his domestic sanctuary from the toxic, invasive nature of internet commentary, proving that modern queer fatherhood can be brilliantly expressed through both groundbreaking artistic creation and unyielding family protection. Audre Lorde. Confronting the multi-layered, intersecting oppressions of racism, sexism, and intense homophobia during the mid-20th century required an unmatched degree of intellectual armor and spiritual resilience. Audre Lorde, who self-identified as a Black lesbian mother, warrior, poet, stands as an absolute, monumental pillar of modern intersectional feminism and civil rights history, single-handedly redefining American literature with her raw, volcanic essays and masterworks like Sister Outsider. Her fiercely articulate, uncompromising prose commanded the profound respect of the global intellectual elite, providing a permanent voice for marginalized communities worldwide. Yet long before her radical theories were integrated into academic institutions, Lorde was living a high-stakes, deeply revolutionary domestic reality as a lesbian mother raising 2 children in a deeply conservative society. Following the dissolution of her traditional marriage to Edwin Rollins, Lorde assumed the exhausting, beautiful responsibilities of motherhood, raising her beloved children, Elizabeth and Jonathan, alongside her long-term romantic partner, Francis Clayton. Navigating the hostile urban environments of New York in the 1960s and 70s as an out, biracial, same-sex household required immense structural discipline and courage. Lorde meticulously insulated her children from the toxic stigma of their environment, intentionally teaching them that their family's unique structure was an elite source of power and pride rather than a biological deficit. She transformed her home into an untouchable sanctuary of raw intellectual freedom and emotional transparency, actively crafting the foundational blueprints for modern queer parenting. When she passed away from terminal breast cancer in 1992 at the age of 58, she left behind a bulletproof generational legacy, proving that a queer mother's unyielding protection can successfully shield her children from a cold, unforgiving world. Marsha P. Johnson. The brutal, unforgiving landscape of mid-20th century urban neglect imposed a terrifying reality of homelessness and violence on queer youth of color, rendering their daily survival an act of absolute resistance. Marsha P. Johnson stands as an undisputed foundational deity of the global LGBTQ+ liberation movement, single-handedly altering the course of civil rights history as a central vanguard instigator of the historic 1969 Stonewall riots in New York City. Her vibrant, larger-than-life physical presence, frequently adorned in custom floral crowns and discarded high-fashion textiles, commanded the absolute frantic adoration of the Greenwich Village street community. Yet, beneath her radiant smile and the legendary title of Mother of Christopher Street, lay a private existence completely fractured by extreme poverty, police brutality, and the relentless, exhausting responsibilities of mutual aid. The true cornerstone of Johnson's humanitarian legacy materialized when she co-founded Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, STAR, alongside her close sister-in-arms, Sylvia Rivera. Together, they established a radical, non-biological family structure, renting a drafty tenement apartment to act as an untouchable sanctuary for over 20 abandoned, gender non-conforming youth who had been brutally discarded by their biological lineages. Operating as the ultimate self-appointed house mother, Johnson engaged in grueling, late-night street sex work and survival hustles explicitly to finance hot meals, clothing, and a safe sleeping environment for her vulnerable street children. She fiercely shielded her alternative family from both the predatory elements of the criminal underworld and the cold indifference of the state. When her lifeless body was tragically discovered floating in the Hudson River in July 1992 at the age of 46, she left behind a bulletproof spiritual monument. Her life proved that the maternal instinct is never dictated by biology or legal paperwork, but actively forged through the unyielding, revolutionary protection of lost souls. As the final credits roll, these 21 extraordinary profiles leave us with a powerful, lingering realization. The definition of a complete family is never dictated by conventional societal blueprints, but actively built on unconditional love and resilience. These queer Black innovators successfully tore down rigid structural barriers to engineer safe, protective sanctuaries for the next generation against an judgmental world. Join our community conversation right here on Black Celebrity Secrets. Is the traditional heteronormative family structure becoming completely obsolete in modern entertainment? Or does society still place an unfair, hostile double standard on alternative households? Let's debate this critical shift. Share your deep thoughts and comment below right now.